Hello everyone, this is Rosie from Sod and Seed, and we're going to be showcasing the Native Lippia today. Before we dive into that, we wanted to show you the resilience of Lippia's rooting system. So this has been housed here for a couple weeks, and you can see the rooting system penetrating the mesh tote where it's been. So very strong rooting system. And this is a technique we use just to make sure we preserved the roots as much as possible. We didn't want to damage them too much. And so instead of uprooting them or ripping up the Lippia, we use some water to wash them down. And that way we didn't cause so much damage to the developing rooting system. We wanted to zoom in and get up close to really give you a sense of what this rooting system looks like as it's being washed out and uncovered. You can see a pretty complex system of roots that in just a few weeks has developed quite well. So again, we use this method just to preserve as many of the roots as possible. Okay, before we jump into showcasing the rooting system of the Lippia plug, the 4-inch plug, we wanted to start off by showing a small stolon and it's already developing roots. So this small stolon was placed in water with the left side in first. So the right side was kind of the top sticking out. And as soon as that second node got water, you could see it started to grow roots. And so the roots on the left started developing first, so you can tell that they're thicker, there's more of them, they're longer. But even at this early stage in the rooting process, you can already see as there is lateral growth, there's also downward growth into the soil of the rooting system. Okay, now we're going to move on to showcasing the rooting system for Lippia. We are going to show you the rooting system of the 4-inch plug that you saw us water down with the hose. And we did that to try to preserve as many as the roots as possible by washing off the soil instead of ripping them up. So this is what you can expect from a 4-inch Lippia plug after about a month and a half to 2 months. Do keep in mind that in the early stages, it was during the winter season, so the temperatures were cooler. We know Lippia likes heat and full sun, so that impacted its development a little bit. But the rooting system for Lippia is essentially what gives Lippia all of the attributes that are sought after. So the rooting system accounts for its drought tolerance, heat tolerance, and the healing and self-repairing properties. And so we'll start off by showing you some of this lateral growth that you'll see. That is what is to be expected when you install plugs, is that the Lippia will begin to grow laterally and fill itself in over a couple of weeks or months. And so you can see that as there's lateral growth, beneath each node, you also have that downward rooting and establishment that's happening with the rooting system. When you're installing plugs or sod rolls, whichever, you'll want to make sure that the lawn stays moist. And these roots are showing you why. Because in the beginning phases, the roots are shorter, they're thinner, so they hold less water. And in the earliest stages, when the roots are very, very small, they can dry out super fast. And to avoid that, you want to make sure that the lawn stays moist. So as the rooting system develops and grows into the area, it continuously has enough water for it to keep growing and also resist stressful conditions such as drought and heat. So very important to keep your lawn moist the first couple of weeks. Lippia has a rooting and establishment period that's a little bit longer than traditional sod. So traditional sod is generally 2 to 3 weeks. Lippia could be up to 2 months. Reason being is that it has a very strong, deep, complex rooting system. And so it's just going to take it a little bit longer. Okay, and real quick before we recap, to end the video, we'll go over two things: leaf size and weed resistance. So you might notice on Lippia that the leaf sizes vary. There are some leaves that are smaller, some that are a little bit bigger. Essentially, that difference is due to the Lippia increasing the size of the leaf to have more surface area to absorb more sunlight, and in that way absorb energy that it's going to need to continue to develop and stay alive. And this density that you see, the same way that we saw it in the rooting system that you're seeing up top on a Lippia lawn, is what helps it be weed resistant. So weeds are going to have a really hard time penetrating this. Alrighty, so to recap and end, today we showcased Lippia's rooting system, and the rooting system is what helps Lippia be so drought tolerant, heat tolerant, and have excellent healing or self-repairing abilities. The lateral growth you see is also consisting of downward growth into the soil as the rooting system develops and establishes itself into your lawn. The leaf sizes change a little bit just to increase surface area that the Lippia can absorb light through, and the density you'll see as it fills in is what helps it be weed resistant or disease resistant. Remember to keep your lawn moist the first couple of weeks, most likely around 2 months, to help the rooting and establishment. Thank you so much for watching. You can reach us via text or phone call at 925-435-7874 or via email at info@lawndelivery.com. You can also visit our website directly, lawndelivery.com, or find us on Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram and on YouTube. If there's anything we didn't cover that you'd like to know about, let us know. We welcome any questions, input, or feedback. Again, thanks for watching, and until next time.